An ode to the recognition of evil. All in all, humanity, for the first time, is starting to digest that they are in a dead end, and they must solve this problem of the ego, and that is already a very important stage, first towards the correction. We are already learning this mutual responsibility between us. As a result of us all discovering our dependency on each other, we already are discovering the Arvut, dependency, that mutual responsibility. We have a surplus of crops, for example, and I need that, and then there are other countries and cases that do not let us connect properly, and to enjoy what you have and what I do not have. This is how we are learning how dependent we are, and how much we need this responsibility, and the truth is, what does the Creator want from all these things? He wants us to keep the connection, not because each one wants to profit from the situation, but to keep this connection, as a result of each one wanting to be connected to the others. Meaning about the intention for us to be connected, not so much about the action. Of course the action is important, but above the action we need to build the intention. We can put it this way: I have something I want to give you, and you have something you want to give me, and the Creator wants us to aim ourselves at each other so each will supply something important to the other, something good. This intention is basically what determines the connect between us, and then when we come closer, to a certain extent, to keep this intention to be for your sake and you are thinking about me, then the Creator will give His approval, and then it will happen. Making corrections towards mutual guarantee. Because we are in a single vessel that includes all of the parts, all of the pieces of all of the souls, and don't look at the faces, look at the souls. You do not see them, but imagine to yourself thousands of souls that you are obligated to bring together. Why? Because by that you compose your own soul. So you have to be concerned in your thoughts, not physically of course, but in your thoughts you have to care about how connected they are in your inner desire, in your prayer towards the Creator, in this lack that you awaken. If you awaken the Creator through your lack so that He brings about connection to all the created beings to some extent that you are able to awaken it, then you have already done your correction. There are no other corrections. That is the only thing, because by that you bring back, from your end, all the Kli of Adam Harishan to a corrected state. Rav Michael Lehman, The Arvut, Mutual Guarantee. Lesson 1, March 17th, 2022. This is why we have to discover the form of connection between the nations of the world, the countries, in a different way than it is now. To us it seems that these ones do not let the other ones to connect, or to exist, or to do commerce with oil or gas, or crops and other things, which we need to pass on from one to the other. It is not like that. What we need to do nevertheless is to advance to a state when we are suffering, but this suffering leads us to the right decisions, that we want to be in a mutual connection with each other, mutual connection, and then the ability to be in the right connection will open. This is all. As long as the laws of society are not satisfactory to each and every individual in the state, where there still are people who are not satisfied, then they leave a minority that is dissatisfied with the government of the state, and this minority conspires under the government of the state and seeks to overthrow it. Meaning that for sure those people who are unsatisfied, dissatisfied, they will want to overthrow this country, and there's nothing to do but to explain to everyone that there is only one way to correct the world, otherwise we will constantly stumble upon the same problem of wars. The implementation, this is the problem. The more you connect, and you'll see that you are not connected and you are asking the Creator for that. All in all, the work has to end in the prayer every time, each time, the entry into the prayer, and you'll see that again you have to pray again, with a little change, and more, and this is how to correct our state until we reach a complete and whole prayer. Kabbalah, learning equivalence of form. Rav Ashlag writes, this law of equivalence of form is the law of the Messiah. It is said about that, Micah 4, but in the end of days it shall come to pass, and many nations shall go and say, Come, and let us go up, for out of Zion shall go forth the law, and he shall judge between many nations. That is, The Messiah will teach them the work of God in equivalence of form, which is the teaching and the law of the Messiah. And shall prove to mighty nations, meaning he will prove to them that if they do not take upon themselves the work of God, all nations will be destroyed by war. However, if they do accept his law, it is said about it, and they shall beat their swords into shovels. We will reach the end of correction, and from it we will understand everything. Then we will see that the end of the act is in the initial thought. For the time being we cannot see anything. It is like a baby. You will not go to explain to a baby how the world is constructed because it will not understand, it will not grasp it. There is no intellect, no vessels for that. We will reach the end of correction, and we will have the vessels to understand the entirety of a real reality. All the worlds, everything is concealed from us, everything beyond the galaxies. As well in human society and the depth of all the connections between us and the mutual bestowal, the entire history, everything that ever happened until the very last atom in reality. But it is not for now. Rav Michael Layman, Peace in the World Daily Kabbalah Lesson, June 5th and November 4th, 2022. Retrieved from